Hey YouTube, I hope you're having a good community day. I wanted to do a video on team building because I have said before, I am like, I'm a good battler. I'm not a great battler. I don't count and I don't know like all the typings still. I know like 95% of them, but I don't know all of them. Yet I've hit legend like, what is it, 16 or 17 last seasons. And 85% of the reason that I hit legend so often is because I am a good team builder. And I've always been a good team builder since like season one. And this was before I even knew about content creation. This was before I knew about other resources that I'm going to go over now. And how to build a team properly and how to use it properly is so important in this meta. And I always say, and I actually built one without using what I'm going to show you, but I have built one that I'm using right now that I've run from 2,500 to 2,865 in 4 days, something like that. So I'm going to try to hit legend with that team. I'll showcase it when I do that. If you are a member, you do know the team because I dropped it in the member Discord. Link in the description. But if you're new to the game and you have some Pokemon but you don't know how to pair them, or you just want like team ideas from the start, I'm going to go over a couple resources here of from PVPoke how to build teams with Pokemon you have, or just get ideas for other teams. Now, there are two things that define the meta in GBL: content creators, and number one is PVPoke. So PVPoke is a site, for those of you who do not know. If you're new to this channel, you may not know. If you are not new to this channel, you will know because I use this constantly. It is a resource that gives you rankings based on simulations of their moves. So let's just go to Clodsire. It gives you great information. It gives you like key wins, key losses against some of the main meta. It gives you their stat product. It gives you their traits, strengths and weaknesses. It gives you their fast moves and charge moves. It gives you the stats of these moves. It gives you their typings. It gives you their weaknesses and resistances. It gives you a lot. And one thing that it gives you is suggested teammates. And this is, right off the bat, one of the easiest ways to figure out how to team build. And it's a way that a lot of other content creators team build too. For example, at the beginning of the season, when we all saw that Clodsire is going to be the #1 ranked Pokemon, I'm pretty sure 5 content creators put out a top team with Clodsire and a fighter. And did we all think of that on our own? Maybe. Maybe we did. But one of the other main reasons is just go down here. Look at that. Primeape and Pangoro. First and third suggested teammate. Not teammate. Teammate. And then you can click on it and it joins them together. And it gives you a brief sim. And then it shows you the sort of these two against the main meta. For those of you, again, who have not used this before, the filled in circle means you are going to lose very hard to this Pokemon. So Clodsire is going to lose very hard to Gastrodon. The little circle means that you are going to lose, but it's going to be a close matchup. The grays are mirror matches, so Clodsire versus Clodsire. The little X's means you're going to win, but not by a ton. And then the hard X's means you're going to kill it. So Clodsire will like destroy Carbink. So as you can see, why they suggest these teammates is look at Clodsire's losses. Mandibuzz, Gastrodon, Diggersby, Feraligatr, and then Primeape is the one that can now answer all of these Pokemon with this new community day move that you are now out hunting or may have, right? So we may, moving forward, see a lot of this core. And why does it work together? Well, let's just think of the logic. Primeape is weak to a few things, one of them being Fairy, because it is a fighter. Clodsire is a poison, so it resists Fairy. Clodsire, I know it has Earthquake, but Clodsire as a poison is going to have problems with steel. Primeape as a fighter can deal with steel. Primeape as a poison is going to get killed by ground type Pokemon because your poisons resist your taking super effective against ground. Not that Primeape's a direct answer to ground, but it'll do well against a lot of the ground type Pokemon here. So there we go. You fill these two, get them down the board, and then you have two options. The first option is you just scroll all the way down here to the bottom, and that will get you to suggested third. So it'll show you your 2 Pokemon that you don't. So 2 Pokemon, and here are 2 Pokemon that you lose to everything. so you can cover it with a third. So you can just go here and pick in a third, whatever you want. That'll cover your weakness. So like Mandibuzz. But what I don't like doing about this is that it covers the weaknesses of some Pokemon, but it doesn't team build properly. So for example, we put a Mandibuzz, automatically, yes, you cover some of those weaknesses that we had listed below, but you're now double weak to Fairy in the back, right? So you get more bulk, which just team maybe needs with Primeape. Primeape is very glassy, you need some. So against the main meta, look at that, you picked up Marowak, you picked up Annihilape, so you picked up some of the wins that you were having problems with. But what's not showing here is that you picked up a double weakness to Fairy. So you can either just, if you truly do not know about like different save swaps or like team builds like ABB style, ABA, different one, I suggest you go check out my old playlist. So like a lot of the teams are old, but if you go to the team building series that I have in my playlist, I did all these teams. I did an ABB style. I did balanced teams, which are my favorite type of teams. I did ABA teams. I did all safe swap teams. I did all like one bulk, two glassy, one glassy, two bulk teams. Like they're all different strategies for team builds are in that playlist. So if you want to go check that playlist out, that would help you there. So that's the one way. You can also just kind of think, what you can do is, let's say you don't want to put in Mandibuzz because you don't want that double weakness there, right? What you could do is Clodsire Primeape is a balanced core, right? We know that. So we go back to PVPoke on the main page here, and you can actually sort by a few things. So up here you see overall. If you click on overall, there's a drop list that you can't see on the screen here, but there's a drop list, and if you go down, there's a switch category. So then it ranks all the top switches, and look at that. Primeape is now the #1 safest swap out of, I haven't done this yet. So they're saying now Primeape with Karate Chop, Rage Fist, and Close Combat is now the #1 go-to safe swap. So why is that? Just if, again, this is not really part of the video, but it's just interesting to me. So why is that now? Because your Rage Fist is only a 4-turn move, right? So Karate Chop, one of the best fast moves in the game. The energy generation is insane, and it does decent damage. And Rage Fist is now a 4-turn move, and you're running Close Combat at a 5-turn move, which is 5 times 2 is 10, right? So for Alligator, which is insane because of the Shadow Claw Hydro Cannon combo, that Shadow Claw Hydro Cannon is a 5 as well. So now your Karate Chop Close Combat is also a 5, so you can like just nuke as a glass cannon. You can absolutely nuke with the Close Combat, get head there, and then if you see a Fairy or something that will resist the Close Combat, you have Rage Fist that you will get to in 4 moves, and it buffs your attack. So you can just kind of spam these 50, and then it gets buffed, and then you spam it again. So that is why it has become the #1 safe swap. So in this example that I was giving, you actually could use Primeape as a safe swap and just pick a third. Maybe you do run, like with Mandibuzz, run Primeape as your safe swap. Try and draw out a Fairy or Fly or something. I mean, yeah, that's the only problem. Like, I heard someone today in my comments said that they ran up against Primeape Annihilape. So maybe do something like that. Annihilape in the back with Rage Fist, Primeape here, and then you have Clodsire on the front. So you use the safe swap as Primeape because it's now one of the top ranked safe swaps. Try and draw out a Fairy, try and draw out a Flying. Clodsire will beat it. You may want to run it with Stone Edge to give you some flyer coverage instead of Sludge Bomb. Like if I was going to run like an ABB style team like that, I would run Stone Edge to give you a little more coverage against flyers, and then Annihilape will run free in the back. Annihilape is an old school good safe swap too. But going back to the idea of here, there are switches, other switches that are very, very strong. For Alligator, Drapion, Clodsire is a good safe swap. So I put together 2 Pokemon that are actually good safe swaps. And then Licky we've seen a bunch of. So you can instead just look at this list and think like, okay, what could theoretically work with this team? Like for Alligator would work, right? You don't have any weakness to electric yet. You don't have any weakness to grass yet. So you can kind of put for Alligators a safe swap in. So that's one way to team build. So what you should do is, if you only have like limited Pokemon, I would suggest, yes, going to find the Pokemon you have. Say you got a Dunsparce. Dunsparce is an interesting one because it's a really good safe swap. But just go down and see like, okay, I know generally what my answers are going to be. Wiggly makes sense because you are normal typing. You only have one weakness in fighting. Jumpluff is a half flyer, so that makes sense. Mandibuzz is a flyer. Wigglytuff is a fairy, right? These suggested teammates should be very common sense if you think through all the, what is my typing? What is my weakness? What am I going to have trouble hitting against? Then you can kind of just already guess. But if you don't know that, if you're new to the game, this will give you the first sort of look at what is strong, like what strong pairing. The second thing you can do is, you won't see it on the screen, but there are tabs up at the top here. Let's see if I can smooth this down. Oh, there we go. There are tabs up at the top here. And one of the tabs is, I was going to go to Team Builder, but it's not Team Builder. It's Train, and then there's a Top Performers tab. So click on that Top Performers tab. So what this does is it shows you the top performing Pokemon based on sort of their simulation here. Clodsire, Dewgong, Drapion, Talonflame, right? So you shouldn't be surprised about some of these top 3 because they are extremely, extremely strong. But then you go down, all the way down here, and at the bottom, there are teams ratings. So for those of you who've been watching, how many Azumarill, Dugongs, Ace, and Slashes have you seen? Because I put out that team. Other content creators put out this team because it was the number 1 team here. I've seen this team at this point probably 50 plus times. This first team here. So this, if you're looking for just like what are potential strong team ideas, you can look here. Now, what this does not tell you, first of all, I don't love all these teams. I look at some of these teams, I'm like, I don't like this one. I don't like this one. You're double weak here. I don't like using this Pokemon. So you don't need to just go down this list and be like, I'm going to blindly follow this. But why did I run this first team? Is it because it was the first ranked team? No. I ran it because of the meta. And the meta was Clodsire, right? Clodsire is rank 1 and rank 2. It was the number 1 and rank 2 Pokemon. It was 80% of the teams, something like that, of the first play Pokemon regional. 80% of people were using Clodsire. So if I'm going to see Clodsire 4 to 5 matchups, hey, I know Azumarill is going to lose because if it has Sludge Bomb, you're going to get outpaced by the poison, but Bubble, Ice Beam, super effective. Ice Shard, Drill Run, Icy Wind, super effective. Powder Snow, Drill Run, Ice Punch, super effective. You have 3 Pokemon that are super effective against the main Pokemon out there, and that's why I use the team. Azumarill, Clodsire, Drapion. I like this team in principle. You are double weak to ground, but this is why. Like you need to, if you're gonna go this route, you need to have some basic understanding of how the team works, right? So you see Azumarill, Clodsire, Drapion, and you look at that and think like, okay, let's try that team. You should automatically know that you are a double poison in the back, which means that Clodsire and Drapion are both going to be weak to ground type Pokemon. So a Gastrodon or something like that will kill your back line. So if you just stay with the Azumarill, you run the risk of seeing like I said, Gastrodon, Golurk, Quagsire, whatever in the back that's potentially Diggersby that will potentially cause you a ton of problems if you don't draw that out. Now the good news is Drapion and Clodsire are both good safe swaps. I think Drapion's a better safe swap. So if I was running this team, Azumarill, Clodsire, Drapion, I would lead Azumarill. If I don't see a ground type Pokemon, I'm probably trying to dry it up with Drapion ASAP. So that is how I'd run that team. And then there's like other teams you have suggestions for. So like Jumpluff, Clodsire, Gastrodon. This is more a balanced team with Clodsire as a safe swap, right? Jumpluff is a flyer. Weak to a few things. Weak to fire, weak to poison, and Gastrodon. We'll deal with that. Gastrodon is a mud boy. Only has one weakness in grass. Jumpluff is again flyer grass Pokemon. Will beat that very easily. And then Clodsire is your safe swap. So these teams do generally, like a lot of them are pretty good, and the team rating kind of shows that in the sims. But you do need to know how to use these teams. So, anyways, PVPoke, if you have not used it, a very, very strong resource. On the main page, battle rankings, team builder, train. If you can get like really into the weeds on this stuff. Like they have so many resources in here that it talks about like if you're going like one-on-one matchups or whatever, they talk about like certain break points at maybe, yeah. You go in here, they explain the matchups, they find the timing, they go break points and bulk points where different IVs will help you in certain matchups here. So a great resources for understanding Pokemon, understanding which Pokemon to build and why. And then most importantly, how to basic team build together, right? So team building is from my perspective, team building is not everything, because you can have a not so great team build with an amazing battler and a great team build with like a not good battler. And like if I'm going against like Rise or some of the top battlers in the world, I'm still probably going to lose even to their team. But if you're sort of like on par with people that you're playing against, having a good team that you understand how to use is invaluable. I think it makes up for a huge percentage of winning or losing in GBL. I just want to go over this because I think this may be a better lesson and more helpful in the long run than just putting out another team. Plus, like I said, I don't have any other. I looked at my submissions, link in the description if you want to submit some battles. I did not have any other battles in the Great League I wanted to showcase. And I got this team that I'm running with that I will hopefully, if I don't hit Legend, I'm going to be, like I said, I'm at 2865 now. Hopefully get a little close to Legend. And then maybe, I've only got a couple more days before we switch over to Ultra League and Willpower Cup. So we'll see if I can push a little closer before that. Anyways, maybe I'll showcase it Monday no matter what. Yeah, I'll showcase this team whether I hit Legend or not Monday, so that you guys can take a look to see it, so that the next time Great League comes around, which is going to come around at least one, maybe two more times this season, you can think about using it. Anyways, that is it. That is Team Building 101 with PVPoke. So that is it. Thanks for watching. Hope that was helpful. Hope your community day went well. Hit the thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you're new. And I will see you guys in the next one.